What's up, guys? Alright, first and foremost, before I show you, I guess, the haul over the last few weeks and stuff, thanks to anybody and everybody that has gone to eBay and bid on a lot of my auctions and stuff. I am about $70 from my goal. I've already got my new townhouse, put the deposit down, and it actually ended up being the eBay auctions that's more or less replacing the money for that place. So thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for nobody slamming me for whoring out my comics on eBay. And I'm going to put some other stuff up and just kind of keep going. As you can see, this little hole here is majority of the stuff that sold. I still got a stack over here, stuff I didn't sell and stuff, but that's alright. It's slow going, and that's really not even a dent in my collection. So, man, I don't know, man. But so far it's been a real success. Okay, now, last month I went to Heroes Con down in Charlotte, North Carolina, the big weekend convention. It's got to be the best convention around, I think. If you're there for old school comics, even the cosplayers down there, not showing a lot of skin, man. It kind of had the atmosphere was just really good. Nobody was really pushing it, and if they did show skin, it was appropriate with their costume, and they had things helping cover up things, like the lady that was Red Sonja. I suspect that she and the Wonder Woman that were there were hired models, I think. Because they were just in phenomenal shape, spray on tans, and just had professional poses and stuff, and they get real personal and everything like that. So it was kind of cool. Anyway, one of the first things I found. Oh yeah, and the reason I mentioned Heroes Con is because some of these books was supposed to be the part 2. This is what I bought on the Sunday. The last video I did on Heroes Con was the stuff I bought on a Friday. This is the stuff, and then some of the stuff will be the stuff I found on a Sunday. Okay. But anyway, I was doing some looking around. I took some stuff to the Goodwill, and where I'm moving, I decided just to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff, So I got them up, and then while I was looking around, I hit another thrift shop, just kind of looking around, and for $1, I found this, a 31-year-old Superman puzzle. It's supposed to be 100 pieces. I counted them in the store before I got it, counted it twice, and it came to 101 pieces. So it'll be interesting to put this together and see what's going on. But what I find interesting is I'm having some problems identifying the artist, because those are definitely Dick Giordano inks. I saw a little bit of burn, like in the rubble there, the asteroids or the meteor or whatever it is he's busting up. But there's no way it's burned, because this is '83. He was doing Alpha Flight, Fantastic Four, just really immersed in Marvel. But the other thing is that I think this is Garcia Lopez, but I've never seen his art where he does the exaggerated perspective of Kirby there. So I'm not real sure who did it. But, just a great find, and I'll probably put it together and stuff. All I can tell you is that those are definitely Dick Giordano inks. So, alright, so, last weekend, maybe 2 weekends ago, I don't know, they had another flea market at a place called the Shot Tower. I think it's a Civil War thing that they have over here. And if you want to look up the Shot Tower, it's in between Hillsville and Wytheville, Virginia, if you want to look those up. But anyway, they had a flea market out there. Not a lot of comics. Had a guy that had some Bronze Age stuff, borderline Silver Age stuff. Just had a stack, and it was just $5 a piece no matter what. And didn't really try to talk him down, because really all I had was a $5 bill. It was hot. I got there, saw this was going to be a waste of time. But I did pick up one thing. Got this. It's the #1 issue from DC Comics when they bought up the Captain Marvel from Fawcett and brought it out as Shazam. Now, this is a bit of a beat up copy when I got it. It's got some issues right here. But sadly, what happened is what I didn't see is that, if you can see it, yeah, you can see it now, is that is water damage. That is not part of the ad I thought it was. And right before I shot this video, I wanted to make sure it was Denny O'Neil who wrote this, and the bottom staple is separated because it's rusted. But still, it's kind of cool. It's got a new story by Denny O'Neil, and C.C. Beck did the art. C.C. Beck created Shazam, and then I think it had some reprints in it. So it was kind of cool to find that. Alright, I think now this is the stuff that last week I went to the Goodwill. It was really weird. I just had this pull to go. I didn't really even want to go. I'm like, I'm getting ready to move, save my money. I don't need to buy any more junk. But I had to go. I just had to go. So I went to this Goodwill, and by gosh, they had comics there. But they weren't just comics. They were trade paperbacks. Somebody had this huge run of Joe Kelly's and Doug Manx. I want to say it was late 90s, early 2000s run of Justice League of America after Grant Morrison had left, and then that run. And they were $3 a piece, and there's quite a few softcover volumes, but I just didn't get them, And then I go around to the other side of of it, and I found 3 hardbacks. Only got 2 of them, and this is one of them. I got both these for $5. Hardback Justice League, Cry for Justice. This is by James Robinson and this phenomenal artist named Mauro Cosicchioli. Italian, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, James Robinson has a really nice forward in this where he's talking about it, and he is really cool to kind of weave it in that some of the things that happened in this were sent down by DC. First, he thought it was going to be an ongoing. Dan Didio sort of approved for him to do this story if he put Starman in it, so he gave him the blue Michael Starman. If you're a fan of the 90s James Robinson Starman, you really don't need this, but it's kind of cool to see the blue Starman. Michael's, what's going on with Michael here? Where's he at? Yeah. The blue Starman. And what's going on with him? The shade pops up. But it's a very dark story. That's what kind of got me. It's structured very well. It's in there. It's kind of laughable how James Robinson worked the word justice so many times in all the first 2 issues and stuff. I mean, you can make a drinking game out of how many times he worked the word justice in there. But this is also, it's the return of Prometheus, and this also reprints some one-shot of the man who murdered Prometheus. Turns out, where we had Grant Morrison's Prometheus in the original Justice League run, then Prometheus popped up somewhere else and was a joke. Turns out that wasn't the real Prometheus. But anyway, what really set this off with people is that this is where Red Arrow, the former Speedy, the former Arsenal, got his arm ripped off. And James Robinson's kind of worked it in there to let him know that while he was writing this, that came down from above. And he was really proud of the dialogue he came up with. It's they come, a lot of the heroes run around the corner, and there they find Red Arrow sitting there with his arm ripped off, and he says, "I can't feel my fingers." And I always thought that was kind of unnecessary, and that should have been our first clue of the reboot that was coming, because I think this came out in 2009, about a year or so before, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but the art is phenomenal. Very dark story. Got to sneeze. Thank you. And I enjoyed the art in it. It was kind of cool to see the Shade and Michael in it. I don't know. I guess what I paid, I'm not going to complain. Then I also got this. I have a complete run of the JSA that started out with James Robinson, David Goyer in the late 90s. Jeff Johns came on board, eventually took over the book. I think the first run was like 85 to 87 issues, and then they revamped it as Justice Society of America. And I've got all the Jeff Johns issues, except there's like one 80-page special that I didn't get. I've got to look up what it is. But this hardback came out, and it was Jeff Johns and David S. Goyer, Carlos Pacino came out, and it was trying to get the Justice League JSA reunions going. In the Silver Age and the Bronze Age, all the way up until the 80s, what I think some people call it Copper Age or something, they always used to have once a year the JLA and JSA would get together, and they were trying to bring this back until over Thanksgiving. A little disappointed in it. It really was to be a hardback, and as much as people were acclaiming it when it came out, and this Carlos guy was getting really hot. He had done Avengers Forever and some other stuff. I wasn't really blown away with it. Basically, there's a theme here, man. Okay, my Captain Marvel and Shazam. The wizard Shazam had captured the 7 deadly sins of man and trapped him in the cave in the Mountain of Eternity, Rock of Eternity, whatever they call it, that he's in. And they escape, and they actually possess some of the heroes. And it's like lust, pride, sloth, oh my gosh. And I love the movie Seven. I can't believe I'm forgetting who they are. Sloth, gluttony, pride, that kind of stuff. But those actually embodiments of those 7 deadly sins take over some of the members of the GSA and JLA stuff, and that's what they've got to do. All right, now here's what I got the second day of HeroesCon last year. Okay, and I got a lot of these cheap, man. A lot of these were like half off and stuff, where it was Sunday and everything. So I got a lot of these cheap. Like this was probably like, I think, $1. But I did a hustle on the guy to where the more I bought, the less he charged me and stuff. But I got Teen Titans #3, and I had passed this up 3 or 4 times over the years for $1, and then it just dried up. And I'm like, I thought I had it. So basically, this leaves me just a couple issues to get the entire new Teen Titans run. This is by Marv Wolf and George Perez. Fantastic stuff. Solid thing. Back in the 80s, when the new universe started at Marvel, to celebrate their 25th anniversary, Jim Shooter came in, and you had books like Starbrand and Spitfire and the Troubleshooters, DP7, Cyforce, Justice, Merc, and all that stuff. They took place in the real world in real time, because Marvel said their universe was the world outside your window. So they were going to make it the world outside your window, and it didn't really take off. Byrne was getting ready to wrap up his Superman stuff. He's going to start coming back to Marvel, even though we didn't do it. And he took over Starbrand, and it became a bi-monthly book with Tom Palmer doing inks. And I thought it was really good stuff. It was a sci-fi story that you just really didn't know where it was going. That's why I liked it. It wasn't a predictable story. I'm not saying it's the greatest story. I'm not saying go out and get it. But out of everything that came out of the new universe, part of which played into Jim Shooter losing his job, yet New Universe was the blueprint for Valiant Comics in the early 90s, they decided to make it an event, and it's like it's some drama going on here. And the Starbrand is a powerful tattoo, more or less, that possesses infinite power, and Kenny, the guy that had it, Kenny, wanted to get rid of it, so he's trying to place the object in an inanimate object, and they redid the White event that started the whole new universe. The White event had finally been solved and told to the readers. It was the previous owner of the Starbrand trying to get rid of the power in an inanimate object, and it gave people powers that were exposed in the White event. They actually had a number of how many people gained powers from that were exposed. Well, when our current Starbrand tries to do it, he just flies up a couple miles above Pittsburgh and releases it where he's not in space doing it. It wipes out Pittsburgh, turns it into the pit, and leaves this crater with this weird, just desolate green slime in it and everything like that, and it takes the whole new universe takes the whole place. So this is the one shot in the hardback where they explore that a little bit. I think that was like a quarter or something, I don't know. Now, for you guys that remember the 80s, we had the Secret Wars, we had Secret Wars 2, and what a lot of people miss is that in this one issue that by Steve Englehart, in Fantastic Four 319, we have Secret Wars 3. Everybody thought the Beyonder was gone or dead or something like that. Doom knew better. So Doom got with the Fantastic Four and tracked his ass down. And this is actually a pretty good story if you, if you like, old school comic storytelling. It was a double-sized issue. It was really good. It answered quite a few questions, and it actually humbled the Beyonder, who, for you guys that don't know that story, don't remember, Beyonder pretty much was a god, the god in his dimension universe. There was nothing but him. And then there's this little prick in reality when the Molecule Man got his powers in the 60s, so the Beyonder watched them the whole time. Okay, and then I needed these to finish up my Starman collection. This is the Power of Shazam 35 and 36. This was a crossover with some Starman issues. These actually go together. They might actually work in with I gotta go back and look at the covers of the Starman books, but this was part of the Lightning and Stars that crossed over with Starman, obviously. Get your bad guy Nazis in there, so, I finally got those. I'm down to needing one issue of this. It's the Avengers versus the Invaders, more or less, Avengers Invaders, with a great cover there of the Red Skull holding the Cosmic Cube, with the heroes looking up. This was a 12-issue miniseries. And they had to deal with Dynamite because of Kruger and Ross working for Dynamite, doing their superpowers project and stuff, and they got them come over and mess around. I like Kruger and Ross because they're the guys that brought us Earth X, Paradise X, and everything like that. Some other things I got there. One of these ended up being a double. I'm going to try to finish up John Byrne's Next Men. It was his independent book he did at Dark Horse back in the day, back in the 90s. People had to wait a long damn time on the cliffhanger he had, and he finally got to tell the story in a couple of more or less mini-series. You know, these were finette series. You know, so you know, there's 4 and 5. I wouldn't really recommend these unless you like the Next Men. That's all there is. It's the Next Men. Okay. Really glad to finally get these. I bought some books, and when I got these other books, I had these in my hand, and I paid $10, so I got these, and I got 2 other books I'll show you here. Probably the last 2 I'll show you. And it's only because they were in my hand, you know. So I got these, but this is issue 77 of Swamp Thing by Delano and Mandrick, and these tie into Constantine, Hellblazer, when Hellblazer first got going. I don't know, I think Hellblazer had been around less than a year, then Hellblazer popped up in here, and they were significant to him being into the Hellblazer story as well. But I'm trying to think what happened. I think Constantine allowed Swamp Thing to take over his body. Then I grabbed this one because there's Superman. See what's going on. This is before Vertigo, but we were getting there. And then I just kind of grabbed this in '81. It's First Strike with Invasion. See what's going on in there. And then there's Swamp Thing as a heel going back into the day in 101. Yeah. Alright, and I was really happy to find these, man. I am finding these Hellblazer books cheap. I mean, I've been paying 17 cents, a quarter, maybe 50 cents for some of them, 35 cents. I really have, the only 2 that I paid anything that wasn't under 50 cents was issue 1 and 2, and I got those for $5 a piece, you know. But anyway, I found these. Got these for way under half off. I think the guy had them for like 50 cents maybe. Anyway, but I got Hellblazer number 3, so I now have 1, 2, and 3, and quite a few on up. Here's number 23. So I really need to be careful to start getting these numbered. 89. Number 30. And I really lucked up because I started trying to get these Hellblazer books probably starting last year before I even heard about a TV show or anything. So number 85. The Garth Ennis issues are what I really want to get. 86. These are Eddie Campbell. I think these are Warren Ellis books here. No, Mike Carey. Here's number 177. Tim Bradstreet covers. Oh, we've got 2 of those. Number 200. Can't believe. I think I might have paid. Now this is from the same guy. Yeah. He had them on sale. That's 50 cents for issue 200. It's a birthday cake with cigarettes instead of candles. And what do we got here? 208. So photorealistic cover. All right. And then I was really happy to get these books. These are the books that I got the Swamp Thing with as part of a $10 deal, you know. So I actually got these. He's had these listed at $6 a piece, but I got them for less. This now brings me down to needing 2 issues. 2 issues, okay? But so I got these. So what is that? 8 books. 8 books, $10. What is that? $1.25 a piece, maybe. You know, if that. But anyway. Sandman number 4 and Sandman number 6. I now need issue 12 and like maybe number 32 or something, 34, 32, and I have them all. And I would like to upgrade my number 1, but that's okay. Alright. Now, I'm in the middle of a move. I still want to make some videos, but I don't want to flood anything. I might make some videos and store them on here and stuff. But I've got an idea that I've been wanting to do. I've been reading some old Amazing Heroes. I've been reading some old George Perez interviews, some Marv Wolfman interviews back from the 80s, and some of this stuff that I got and everything like that. And I remember most of it stuff. But I'll just give you a little hint on something I might want to talk about in the next video. You know, I don't know if anybody will recognize this or anything like that. But, you know, we might go back to the 80s or something there, you know. So, all right. Later, guys. Have a great summer.